Marinaro, the Sick Podcast on this Tuesday, October 7th. The National Hockey League season 2025-2026 is underway for several teams, but not the Montreal Canadiens. For tomorrow night, that's when the Montreal Canadiens are going to play their first game when they visit the Maple Leafs in Toronto. We have plenty to talk about. Nicolas Cloutier will be my guest of TVA Sports, and it's going to be prediction time for the Montreal Canadiens. We know one thing. We know the first wave of the power play. We know the second wave of the power play. We know what the special teams will look like. Who will score the most goals? Who will pick up the most assists? Who will pick up the most points? How many regulation wins for the Montreal Canadiens? How many points for the Montreal Canadiens? It's now prediction time. We discuss it all with Nicolas Cloutier. I'm Marinaro, the Sick Podcast, weeknights at 10 p.m. Nick is coming up in just a couple of minutes.
It's the sickest podcast. Tune in for the audio, or you can even watch back. Giving players all the props, or put them on blast. We don't give no hot takes, only talk facts.
We're giving all our devotion, riding high on this wave of emotion. Going all out, yeah, cause this is our time. No, ain't no stopping us till we reach the finish line. All in, we came here to win. We're gonna give everything. S-I-C-K on the run. S-I-C-K, sick, sick. On fire, we're ready to fight. We'll bring the house down tonight. S-I-C-K on the run. S-I-C-K, sick, sick.
Playing on the car ride, play it when you lounge. X and O, you know that we can hold it down. Shout out to my man Sammy, got it off the ground. And to all the listeners tuned in right now, got debates, analysis, and speculation. This is sports talk for the new generation. You know where to find us, got a reputation. Sick Podcast, your number one sports destination.
Giving all our devotion, riding high on this wave of emotion. Going all out, yeah, cause this is our time. No, ain't no stopping us till we reach the finish line. All in, we came here to win. We're gonna give everything. S-I-C-K on the run. S-I-C-K, sick, sick. On fire, we're ready to fight. We'll bring the house down tonight. S-I-C-K on the run. S-I-C-K, sick, sick.
S-I-C-K, it's the sickest podcast. Tune in for the audio, or you can even watch back. Giving players all the props, or put them on blast. We don't give no hot takes, only talk back. S-I-C-K, 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 S-I-C-K,
All in, we came here to win. We're gonna give everything. S-I-C-K on the run. S-I-C-K, sick, sick.
Turn up your volume. Because you're about to listen to The Sick Podcast. With Tony Marinaro,
55 seconds left in the penalty, a minute and 27 seconds left in regulation time. Boston 4, Montreal 3. Lafleur coming out rather gingerly on the right side. He gives it into Lemaire, back to Lafleur.
the sickest Montreal Canadiens podcast.
You're in the ball!
Sports entertainment like no other.
Rejoint, on lui fait perdre la rondelle, une passe devant. Et c'est le dégagement, et ce sera la victoire des Canadiens. Stanley pour les Canadiens, leur 23e de l'histoire.
You found the dogs! John, you found the dogs! He found the dogs! And all together, they work the young team to the top. And now, a 24th Stanley Cup banner will hang from the rafters of the famous Forum in Montreal. The Canadiens win the Stanley Cup!
Brought to you by Energy Transportation Group. Driven to be different. La Tibi. Embrace your true nature. And Playground, your premier gaming destination. It's gonna be sick.
Marinaro, the Sick Podcast, once again on this Tuesday, October 7th. 3 games in the National Hockey League to start the 2025-2026 season. Earlier this evening, the Florida Panthers, it wasn't pretty, it wasn't easy, but they were able to beat the Chicago Blackhawks by a score of 3-2. The Penguins and the Rangers aren't over yet. And starting at 10:30 p.m. Eastern, the Colorado Avalanche and the Los Angeles Kings. We're going to talk Montreal Canadiens hockey. And, of course, I want to give a shout-out to our sponsors. I also want to tell you that we're going to be live at Winnie's, okay? So it's going to be, I believe, the third game the Montreal Canadiens are going to play at home to start the season. Pardon me, not to start the season, but the Canadiens will open up their season, of course, tomorrow night in Toronto. Then on Thursday night, they're going to be in Detroit. Then on Saturday night, they're going to be in Chicago. Then next week, they're going to play their first home game. On Tuesday, they host Seattle. On Thursday, the Thursday after, they'll host Nashville. And on the Saturday, the 18th of October, it'll be their 6th regular season game. Their third game at home, the Montreal Canadiens will host the New York Rangers, and I'm going to be watching the game live from Winnie's, Sir Winston Churchill Pub at 1455 Crescent Street, downtown Montreal. And after the game, I'm going to go on live with a special post-game show. Winnie's has been serving all of your favorites and more since 1969. Enjoy Chef Jack's inspired and timeless gastropub fare. Winnie's Pub open late, the best 5 set in Montreal, the place to cheer on. The Als and Habs, downtown Montreal's headquarters for everything from Formula One to Les Glorieux, always. Join me on October 18 for the Canadiens versus the Rangers game at 7 p.m. with a live post-game show following the game. There will be a Habs ticket giveaway during that night as well, which is kind of cool. Well, the Montreal Canadiens beat the Toronto Maple Leafs. You can go all the way with Betway and get a free bet up to $200 if your first bet loses. Scan the QR code on the screen or click on the link in the details section to create an account. Redeem your welcome offer. Offer is only available for new customers. Terms and conditions apply. Offers not available in Ontario. Must be 18 years of age and older. And please play responsibly. Without further ado, Nick Cloutier, how are you, buddy?
I'm good, Tony. Just so excited for this to start tomorrow night.
And so am I, very excited to see this Montreal Canadiens team that, of course, there's a lot to talk about with you because we know the lines. Mm-hmm. We also know who was on the first wave of the power play, who was on the second wave, who's going to be on the special teams. So why don't we talk about that first and foremost? Let's put out the power play waves from earlier today. Suzuki, Caulfield, Slafkovsky, Bolduc, and Hudson. Now, there's something we know. What we know is that Patrick Laine liked to set up on the left side just above the circle. That's Cole Caulfield's office. And when he did set up there, Caulfield had to find a new area of the ice on that power play. We also know that Demidov can find Laine on the power play because we saw him find Laine on the power play, of course, during the preseason. So Demidov is with Laine, but a lot of people expected to see Demidov on the first wave of the power play. And I guess the thinking is you need someone to go to those traffic areas, those dirty areas. Bolduc's got a heck of a shot. We know that. But Nick Cloutier, are you shocked or surprised or neither that Zachary Bolduc is on the first wave of the power play and Laine isn't, nor is Demidov?
No, because Bolduc is elite at playing bumper. So to me, that made sense that you would be on the first wave. Also, you're setting him up for success. So he comes in with a lot of pressure, Tony, as a Quebecer. So now you put him in a position to succeed early on in the season so he can get his legs going. So once you get a few points on the board, okay, so a lot of pressure comes off your shoulders and you can start the season the right way. So this is a good setup for Bolduc. But I found a lot of things interesting about these power play units, truly. And you had an interesting guest on your French show, Tony, who is Jack Hahn.
He's great, isn't he?
Yeah, he's great, and
Yeah.
I've talked to Jack before. Such a brilliant hockey mind. And what I found really interesting in what he told you is that from the get-go, when Babcock was a coach in Toronto, they actually split their best players on two waves. So it was 1A, 1B. So what if the Canadians don't see it your way? You're mentioning a first wave and a second wave. What if there's no first wave? What if there's no second wave? What if the minutes are split evenly? Which is what I see, truly. Can you tell me, Tony, which one of these units is more dangerous right now?
Well, listen, I would say that the first unit is more dangerous because you
Okay,
have three
and I would not
players-
agree.
Because you have three. Oh, that's great. That's amazing. Because you have three players. I'll tell you why. This is going to be a great discussion. I'll tell you why I think the first unit's going to be more dangerous. Okay, because 4/5 of that unit were together last year.
At the end of the playoffs, too, right?
Yes. So
That was the unit at the end of the playoffs, actually. The whole unit. Oh, no, aside from Bolduc, sorry. Yeah.
yes, Bolduc wasn't there and Demidov was, but so
Yeah.
Lane Hudson was there, Suzuki was there, Caulfield was there, and Slavkovsky was there. Lane Hudson probably got the first wave of the power play, about a month and a half, maximum 2 months into the season. Okay.
Yeah.
So for the last 4 months of the season, plus the playoffs, Lane Hudson quarterbacked that power play. For the entire season, from start to finish, Suzuki, Caulfield, and Slavkovsky were together on the first wave of the power play. This is why I'm saying that the first
chemistry.
wave of the power play, chemistry. They've been with each other. They've been together. I mean, there's not a lot of chemistry. They don't have as many reps on that. So, for example, Demidov has a couple of regular season games in him and 5 playoff games in him. So he's got 7 games power play experience. Probably a couple with Liney on the power play, not more than that. Noah Dobson comes to a new team. He doesn't have power play experience with these guys. Kirby Dach, can we bring up the second wave of the power play again if we can?
Mm-hmm.
Kirby Dach missed the final 25 games of the season last year and the playoffs. So he's going to be rusty when it comes to the power play. Gallagher has never played on a power play with Liney and Demidov and Dach and Dobson before. So for these reasons, I will say that the first unit is going to be a more dangerous unit. But you mentioned something. Can it be that they're going to split time, a minute each? I would say just a little bit more than a minute for the first wave, but close to a minute for the second wave.
Interesting. And can I tell you why I find this second unit just as good?
Please do.
Okay, so it's kind of a nerdy thing, but you know what? A right shot like Patrick Liney, who has been doing this all career long, you have to give it to him. If he's elite at one thing, it's shooting the puck on a power play. Like no one can do it as he does it. So, for a right-handed shooter like Patrick Liney, like some of these guys, they prefer receiving passes from right-handed defensemen. So Noah Dobson, for example,
or right-handed forwards like from Nick Suzuki.
Yeah, exactly. But Dobson is going to be on the point, so it makes sense that he will be passing the puck to Liney, who would be on the left flank. So it's something about the way the puck spins when it's passed off the stick of a righty to another righty. So it might be very, very outlandish or nerdy, but it's actually a thing. The way the puck spins, how you receive the puck from a righty, it's totally different from when, like, if you compare it from a pass that comes from a left shot. So some of these shooters, they really do prefer when they receive passes from a right-handed defenseman. So I think there's a great fit potentially between Dobson and Liney on that unit. And I'm going to ask you one thing, Tony. During the preseason, and sure it's preseason, but like say aside from Hudson, who was the most dangerous ab on the power play during preseason?
Demidov.
Yeah, by far. He created the most chances.
So you have me sold on this. I'm going to actually reinforce your point, which goes against me. It's a pretty stupid thing to do, but I'll do it anyway. When I look at the players, I believe that the best playmaking passer who's a forward of those players is Demidov of the two waves. I believe the guy who has the hardest, heaviest, most precise shot is Liney.
Yeah.
I agree with everything you said, that Laine getting passes from a Noah Dobson, who's a right-handed, is going to be absolutely fantastic. I agree with everything you're saying. Here's the way I look at it. The second wave has all the ingredients to make a great cake. The first wave have a lot more experience in making that cake because they worked on making that cake last year once again.
So you're saying the first wave is already a great cake. It's been baked, but
I wouldn't call it great because the Montreal Canadiens last year on the power play were ranked 21st out of 32 teams. And quite frankly, there's huge room for improvement there. Like, I think the Canadiens have all the ingredients to have a top 10 power play in the National Hockey League. I'm not so sure you agree with me. Let me know.
Yeah, I do agree with you because of depth. Precisely the fact, Tony, that we're talking about, and you might not agree because you like a unit more than the other, which is fine. But the fact that we're merely talking about the possibility of just splitting those two units evenly tells you a lot about the tools, the weapons, saying we will have. So, because last year we wouldn't have had that conversation, right?
I wouldn't be shocked. I wouldn't bet on it, but I wouldn't be shocked if the second unit can pick up more power play goals for a stretch, not for the season, but for a stretch. And another thing that they have at their advantage is that second unit is not going to go up against the other team's best penalty killers. You would think that the other team will put their top two penalty killing defensemen and their top two penalty killing forwards to try and contain the first wave of the power play. And this is another reason why the second unit could be
that's before they adjust and like they leave their top D-man, their top PK D-man on the ice for the whole 2 minutes because they see the Habs have those two great units. So yeah, you're right. At the start of this season, this could be a thing they pounce on. But yeah, very, very interesting depth in my opinion.
I'm going to talk to you about a Laine goal in just a second. But before I do, once again, I want to give a shout out to one of our sponsors, Bittt, Tibi. They launched their Ultra Lager. It's a refreshing, thirst-quenching beer, perfect for those cool fall days with only 90 calories, 2 grams of carbs, 4% ABV per can, available in a pack of 6 and 12 in grocery stores all around the province of Quebec. It's ultra light and ultra refreshing. Also, want to give a shout out to one of our very first partners. The Sick Podcast is brought to you by several partners, one of which is Energy Transportation Group, a leading asset-light 3PL that's driven to be different from cross-border freight between Canada, USA, and Mexico to coast-to-coast shipping in both Canada and the United States. Energy moves it all. Fast, reliable, powered by tech that delivers smarter logistics. If you need a real partner in transportation, contact the team at sick@shipenergy.com and see how Energy Transportation Group is changing the freight game. All right, okay. I take a look at these power plays, and once again, 21st, the Canadiens were on the power play last year. I said I think they can finish top 10. You say they can finish top 10 as well. Do you think Demidov starting on the second wave of the power play is done in order to balance everything out in his chemistry with Laine? Or do you think there's a certain hierarchy? Like there can't be a hierarchy, right? Because Zachary Bolduc was a first-year player last year in the National Hockey League too, right? So there's no hierarchy like there was when Hudson had to wait a month and a half. Right?
Yeah, but if you were to compare these two, Bolduc is actually done it at the NHL level. Like Demidov hasn't done it yet. He will. I'm just saying, if we're talking about hierarchy, like Bolduc has been like down the stretch after 4 Nations, he was elite on the power play.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't say he paid his dues, but he proved he can be an elite player on the power play on the bumper position. But Demidov hasn't yet, but he will. Yeah.
There's something that stood out. Let's bring it back up on the screen again. The first wave of the power play and the second wave of the power play. Power play 1, Suzuki, Caulfield, Slavkovsky, Bolduc, and Hudson. Power play 2, Laine, Doc, Demidov, Gallagher, Dobson. Do you notice something about power play 2? Okay. Yes.
Is it Gallagher? Yeah.
You're getting hot. Gallagher, why Gallagher? What am I getting to? You with me?
Yeah, I am.
You're getting hot. Okay, Gallagher.
I am.
Yes, Gallagher sticks out. You want to know why Gallagher sticks out? Couple of reasons. I'll tell you my first reason that Gallagher sticks out. Because a lot of teams in the National Hockey League have 2 defensemen on the second wave because of the fear of the opposing player that's in the penalty box coming out of the box and catching a forward at the blue line. A lot of teams deploy 2 defensemen on the second wave, and Marty St. Louis saying, no. 4 forwards on the first wave, 4 forwards on the second wave.
I don't want to correct you on that, but I think it's getting rarer by the day. Like, you don't see...
Oh, it is. It is.
Like, you don't see them as much. Like, typically, all the units at 2 D-men, like, if you're going back, 10 years? But now I struggle to find some of these units at the NHL level. And clearly, Martin St. Louis does not believe in that setup because, I'm trying to remember, one time Martin St. Louis used 2 D-men on the power play. I don't think that's ever happened. And I think it's part of the new tendency you're seeing in the NHL. And the rationale is pretty simple. Like, you're going to have better finishers if you have more forwards on the ice on the power play.
I hear you. There's a couple of teams in the Canadiens division, Hampus Lindholm, Mason Lohrei, with the Boston Bruins. There's a team that employ 2 defensemen on their second unit, and I can find you others as well. If I'm not mistaken, the Carolina Hurricanes, and now I'm thinking back to last year. Team changed a bit, but I would.
So maybe still a third of the league.
Yeah,
would that be fair?
Yeah, probably. Yeah, I guess so.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Carolina, I would say Sean Walker and probably newly acquired Keandre Miller, probably. But once again, I would say, listen, I would say that I think that I can't say if it's a third or a half of the league, but once again, coaches have always been weary of the player coming out of the box. But here's something, and once again, Agnello and Sammy and Master Control, if we can bring up the power play again and keep it up there so people can see it, okay? Gallagher's on that second wave, and the Canadiens are going with 1 defenseman. What's one of the things we've talked about with Mike Matheson over the past couple of years? They have to get his ice time down. Yeah. Mike Matheson was playing close to 25 minutes, sometimes over 25 minutes. He's not going to get younger. He is an incredibly smooth skater. He's got great cardio, and I know he can take it. But less minutes Matheson gets, more effective he will be. This is not going to be good news, by the way, for those who have him in a fantasy pool where just points is concerned, because he's obviously going to have a really tough time getting to the 62 points he had a couple of years ago without having any power play time. Does that mean that Mike Matheson is probably going to be on the ice for the entire 2 minutes of a penalty kill?
You would hope so. You would hope so, because you have to find him a role. And Tony, just a quick anecdote. I trained with Le Temps and Imama during the summer.
I saw that. I saw you puke. I saw you puke.
Unfortunately.
By the way, you impressed me.
Thank you.
You impressed me.
So you're coming with me next time.
You know what? The last time I went to the gym was for the Wi-Fi. But go ahead.
Okay. So I find it fascinating because a lot of fans are very hard on Matheson, and when you actually talk to the players, you get such a different vibe. And you should have heard how convincing Le Temps was selling Matheson to me. And he was almost saying he's like the Habs #1 D-man 5-on-5 still. He thinks he thinks Matheson is great, and he actually told me, like, when the Penguins traded him, like, Crosby was pretty surprised, and like the Penguins players during practice were in awe of what Matheson was able to do on the ice back in the days. And so this is a guy with a lot of skills. So and I was talking with Le Temps, and I was telling him, well, maybe the problem with Matheson is he plays too much, so he gets gassed. And he's like, what do you mean? Like, the guy is like 6 or 7% body fat. He does not get gassed. And he explained to me the thing with Matheson. He has so much talent. Sometimes he tries to do too much on the ice. So that's always been the issue for him
and
from the beginning of his career.
And he's so good that his teammates get him the puck a lot. So he's got the puck on his stick a lot. So having the puck on your stick a lot and going out and having the confidence to do things, and you go out and you do things, and at the same time, part of that puzzle is being on the ice versus the other team's best players.
Voila.
You know, the puck could end up in your net from time to time. The way the puck could end up in the other. Listen, when Matheson scored that goal on the power play, when he went end to end,
Yeah.
like, I mean,
The little shake. Like,
you don't do stuff like that by fluke, okay? I mean, this guy's got a lot of talent. There's no doubt about it.
Tony, even PK Subban didn't register 60 points for the Montreal Canadiens. Michael Matheson did. So I'm just telling you, this guy oozes talent. But the thing with him, and it's been the team since the beginning of his career, is that it's hard for him to find balance with that talent. Like sometimes you have to, and say we keep saying that you have to just take what the game gives you.
Yes.
So that's going to be the challenge for him.
Now,
but I'm very high on Matheson still, and like you said, he has the stamina, he has everything, all the athletic tools to play the whole 2 minutes on the PK.
Now, PK Subban never hit Mike Matheson 62 points. There you would be correct. If we're going to be technical, he hit 60 points once with the Montreal Canadiens.
No, that's fair, Tony. That's fair. When was that?
14-15.
Okay, yeah, you're right.
And a couple of years later, he hit 59. Yeah. But you're right. If you think about it, Michael Matheson's most productive season, he outproduced PK Subban.
How crazy is that? On a pretty bad team, by the way. On a pretty bad team.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
That's really crazy.
And this guy gets so much hate, by the way. Like you go on X or whatever you want to call it, Twitter during Habs games sometimes, and it's crazy the things you can read about Mike Matheson.
He's the whipping boy, yeah.
Yeah, and it's annoying at some point.
Who would be the whipping boy among forwards?
Patrick Laine.
Patrick Laine's the whipping boy. You're right.
Yeah, and I'm not saying it's not justified sometimes, because I mean even the Habs know it. Like they admit it. Like they want him to be much better at 5-on-5. But still, they wouldn't have made the playoffs without him last year. So.
Hungry for a deal? Eat well at Playground without breaking the bank. Mondays, sink your teeth into a juicy 12-ounce ribeye steak with all the fixings for just $19. Tuesdays, dive into an all-you-can-eat Asian experience for only $25. Wednesdays, savor a 6-ounce bacon wrap filet mignon with dessert for just $30. Thursdays, lobster surf and turf, only $22. And Fridays at lunch, get any sandwich, burger, pizza, or main for just $7. It's delicious. It's outrageous. Visit playground.ca for details. It's the Sick Podcast. Thanks for watching, everyone. Tell your friends about it. YouTube, Facebook, Twitter. We go live. By the way, for those who have missed it, a couple of days ago, it felt like it was yesterday, I debuted my new show en français, Le Sick Podcast avec Tony Marinaro, weekdays from 10 a.m., so pretty much give or take at around noon. Once again, weekdays 10 a.m. to noon, and all the videos are on the same YouTube channel as all the English videos from the Sick Podcast weeknights at 10 p.m. Why? Trying to bring together the two solitudes, put the English and the French together. I know a lot of you that are watching in English actually speak French and know French, so hopefully you're going to be watching the French show as well. The French show is a different show than this one, and that's the reason why you should watch. This one is strictly a Montreal Canadiens show. The other one has a huge emphasis on the Montreal Canadiens, but with different guests, with different collaborators. And we also talk about other sports as well, whether it's the NFL or the NBA or Major League Baseball or you name it, MLS. We do that on the other show. Nick Cloutier is my guest tonight. I hope to make him a regular more so than he is, because I appreciate him a lot. He knows that. I gave him a call and I told him the same thing. He knows that because I gave him a call and I told him the same thing yesterday. Thank you, Nick, for that. You feel like throwing out some predictions?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, I was actually crunching some numbers before going on your show.
Okay.
We talked a lot about... No, go ahead. Yeah.
The power play. I want to stick with the power play for a second, and then I'll make you take this wherever you want, okay?
Sure.
Let's bring up a chart that shows some numbers here. The power play. The
so
penalty
21,
kill,
right?
Correct. The regulation wins and where they were in terms of points in the standings in the National Hockey League. Power play, 20.1%, ranked 21st. PK 80.9, ranked 9th. Regulation wins 30th, ranked 18.
Okay.
Points 91, ranked 17. Let's stick with the power play.
Okay. My prediction, I think it goes all the way up to a 24. That would make them fringe top 10. So power play is going to go up.
24 would mean that the Canadiens score a goal on just over every 4 power plays.
Yes. With 2 amazing units, I think that's realistic. If you had only one interesting unit, I mean, I wouldn't be so optimistic. But find me 10 or 15 other teams with 2 units as dangerous as the Montreal Canadiens right now. I cannot. So I'm gonna bump them to, like, if last year 24.2 brings you all the way up to 10th, so that's Utah. So I think I'm being realistic in bumping them.
All right, so let's take a look at the power play once again. You just threw out a couple of numbers out there. I want to take a look at the National Hockey League as well. 28.9% was the highest, courtesy of the Winnipeg Jets.
Yes.
And Vegas at 28.3. The Devils at 28.2. 27 for Detroit. 25.9 for Tampa Bay. 25.8 for the Pittsburgh Penguins. 24.9 for Chicago. 24.8 for Colorado, 24.8 for Toronto, Utah at 24.2. I think the Canadiens will have a power play that will go 24.5%. 24.5%.
So just 0.5 over me. You really had to outdo me, right?
You know what? Either 24 25 should be good for top 10 in the National Hockey League, I would think. And so we're going to go top 10. Let's bring back up that chart now for the penalty kill. 80.9. The Canadiens were ranked 9th on the penalty kill. Now, let's keep in mind what happened here. The Canadiens no longer have Christian Dvorak. The Canadiens no longer have David Savard. The Canadiens no longer have Yoel Armia. The Canadiens no longer have Emil Heinemann. The Canadiens do have Noah Dobson, who I don't know if we're going to see on the penalty kill. The Canadiens do have Joe Veleno that they acquired. Bolduc is seeing time on the power play. I would imagine when Veleno's in, he might play the penalty kill. But right now, Veleno's your 13th forward. Kapanen, will we see him on the penalty kill?
I think,
I have to say, so let's just say penalty kill. Josh Anderson will be there. Jake Evans will be there. You believe we'll see Kapanen? Will we see Nick Suzuki? Will he be the 4th guy?
Or Newick.
Alex Newick makes sense to me. Perfect.
Speed. Yeah.
Okay. I'm going to say the Canadiens will not be a top 10 penalty kill.
That's what I was going to say. So it's going to be a bit of a wash because the power play will go up as the PK goes down. And I think a fair amount. Like, I think you're going to see them in the early 20s as far as PK.
Okay, give me a percentage.
And I would like to be proven wrong.
Perfect. Got my notes here. Give me a percentage.
Okay.
On the power play.
So
24
20
you
last
said?
year. 20 last year would be Flyers at 77.6. So I would say 77.5. Sure.
So 77.5 and 24.0. Is that correct? For the power play.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. I got good news.
Sure.
That number, as you can see at the bottom, totals 101.5.
Oh, yeah. I
And
see where
that
you're
number will be superior to the 101 that they had last year. And the reason why I bring up these numbers is that last year I had a chance to talk to Kent Hughes. It was in late August. It was on a Tuesday, and he joined me. I was on the French radio, and I said to him, tell me something that has to happen without stating the obvious, but give me a couple of things that have to happen that if they do, you'll have a good chance of making the playoffs, or you won't make the playoffs if you don't have this. And he said, experience and past results have shown me that you absolutely need your power play and your penalty kill to total over 100. You have to hit 100 or over. And if you don't, you're probably not going to have a very good season. And obviously there are exceptions, but the Canadiens last year at 20.1 on the power play and 80.9 totaled 101, and they made the playoffs.
They made the playoffs
on the final game of the season.
So they were 101 right on the dot?
101 right on the dot, 20.1 plus 80.9.
And if you total what I just give you, so
it's
101.5.
101.5.
So we're making the playoffs, baby.
So, in your opinion, with the Canadiens going 24% on the power play, which is 3.9% above last year, and going 77.5, which would be 3.4% below last year, there's a 0.5 improvement. And with that 0.5 improvement, that's, obviously if you made the playoffs last year, you would think that you're going to make the playoffs this year. So that's good news. That's good news. You wanted to throw some stats my way or some predictions my way, whatever. Go ahead. What do you want to throw at me?
Well, I did send, I wanted to compare like the lineup that was sent against the Maple Leafs at the same time around last year and compare it to this year. Because when I looked at it and I went back, like I found it striking that the lineup changes much in just a year.
You don't have a chart or anything like that.
I sent an email to Aniello, so just before the show. So that might be sketchy. I don't know.
You know what? If we give him time, I would imagine that he's going to go get it and he'll bring it up.
Sure.
So Aniello and Sammy, Nick Cloutier sent you a chart that shows last year's Canadiens team that opened their season in Montreal versus Toronto. Canadiens ended up winning the game by a score of 1-0. If memory served me well, Samuel Montembeault stopped 47. Was it 47 or 48? I think it was 47.
Yeah, that was a shutout. Yeah,
it was a franchise record for the most saves in a home opener shutout win, and I think it was the second most saves that a Montreal Canadiens goalie made in a shutout, maybe in franchise history. Only second to Jacques Plante, who did it in the 50s. Okay.
So just forget my projected lineup at the top because it hasn't been updated with the latest lines. But if we could focus on the lines against Toronto last year, and we could just zoom on that, that'd be great.
Okay.
You would see how striking the difference is based on last year. If we could just zoom on the lower power. Yeah.
Look at that. Okay. That's good. All right. Good.
Yeah. That's great. Yeah. See, Tony? Like, tell me that lineup last year is better than the one they have this season. Like, try to sell me that.
So, Suzuki, Caulfield, Slavkovsky.
Yeah.
It's better this year because they got one more year experience under their belt. So, they're better.
Fair.
Doc with Newhook and Armia. Now you have Doc with Gallagher, who scores more than Armia, and Bolduc instead of Newhook. Newhook scored 15 last year. Bolduc scored 19 for St. Louis. That
basically all the second half of last season, too.
That line is better. Evans had Gallagher and Heineman. Evans will have Patrick Laine and Josh Anderson.
Yeah.
Better. And Dvorak, Anderson, and Barry Boulet is Kapanen, Demidov, and Newhook.
Not even close.
Matheson is with Dobson. Gooley is with Hudson. Jack-Eye is with Carrier. Instead of a year ago, it was Matheson, Gooley, Hudson, Savard, Jack-Eye, Barron. I'm so glad we did
Barron.
This. Yeah, this is a great exercise, Nick. I'm actually going to borrow it if I can, and I'll use it on my show tomorrow. Yeah, fantastic. Yeah.
So So we're talking about a lot about special teams, rightfully so.
Yeah.
But 5-on-5, you're going to see a huge improvement. And we talk a lot about offense, okay? So the Canadiens, you'd be surprised at how much goals they scored last year. It was not that bad. They were 17 in the league, almost around 3 goals per game. So it was 2.96, 17 just behind the Seattle Kraken. So the stat that worried me last year is they gave up a ton of goals. So I know they're going to score. They might score like 20 more goals next year, but I was never worried about the goals, really. It's really about how much they give up. So last year they gave up the 10th most goals in the league, so around 3.18 per game, which was really bad. But this year they have so much depth at the blue line that I think this might be the most valuable improvement.
You know why with those goals against per game were up last year, right? The first 10 weeks of the season.
Yeah.
Their second game, they gave up 6 in Boston and they lose. I think it's their fourth game. They give up 6 at home versus Pittsburgh.
And the Rangers after, right?
They gave up 7 goals and a loss versus the Rangers at home and they lose. They gave up 8 goals and a loss versus Seattle and they lose. On Halloween night, they give up 6 goals in Washington and they lose. And I think it was the 9th of December, but I can be wrong. They're going into the third period versus Pittsburgh down by a score of 3-2. They ultimately lose by a score of 9-2. That's when we were all going nuts as to what kind of defensive system they were playing. We were talking about the hybrid. We looked like the players were confused. And then all of a sudden, you have to give them a lot of credit. They just turned that around, Nick.
They did. They made adjustment. They simplified the schemes, I believe. And you're right that the false start cost them a lot that season. So just starting the season on the right foot could correct that. But we just showed the lineup, and you would have a hard time telling me like this defense isn't better this year. And the depth is crazy because, I mean, no offense to Barron, Tony, but Jack-Eye Barron, and now you have Jack-Eye who looks much better this preseason, with Carrier, who is a grizzled vet that could play like at the number 4 spot on many teams. It's night and day. And you add Dobson to the mix, Hudson with more experience. I like Savard. I like his experience, but he was getting slow. So you have more foot speed now with that lineup. I mean, to me, it's night and day on defense. They have more depth. You could factor in the slow start, but I was not even going for that.
Amazing stuff. Yes. All right. Okay. So now let's bring up back that chart that I had that showed the power play, the penalty kill, the regulation wins, and the points. So Nick Cloutier says the power play will go from 20.1 to 24%. The penalty kill will drop from 80.9 to 77.5%. Regulation wins, Nick. The Canadiens had 30 regulation wins.
Yeah. Oh, that's hard. Let me look at the standings from last year before I say something stupid.
No problem.
Yeah. Okay, no, yeah, new season, so I have to go back to. Okay.
The Canadiens finished 17th in the National Hockey League, and obviously they finished 8th in the East.
Yeah. I think, you know what? I want to give them... I want to give them at least 6 or 7 more. Maybe 5. Maybe 5 would be more conservative.
We can even go with another number too, right? Which would be regulation plus overtime wins, which is
you're talking about the road,
which is total wins, correct? We're talking about the road, correct? So the Montreal Canadiens were ranked 17th in the National Hockey League for 30 regulation wins. They were also ranked 17th in the National Hockey League for 38 wins, regulation plus overtime. So let's go with the number 38. Plus or over?
Oh, plus. Plus for me. Plus for me.
For 2 reasons. One, you just said they're better, and I have a second reason.
Do you think it's because of the East? It's wide open?
No, I think batting Demidov and Liney from the start of the season, the Canadiens are going to win more games in the shootout than they did a year ago.
Because of their ends in the shootout.
Yeah.
And 3-on-3 hockey as well.
Correct.
Yeah, because skill will end up at the top, like in those kind of situations. I agree with you. So you're not only looking at regulation wins if you think that way, which is interesting. Yeah.
Yeah. So, okay, let's bring up some players. Nick Suzuki led the Montreal Canadiens last year with 89 points. If we go to our hockey DB that I sent over to Agnello and Sammy, and we should have Nick Suzuki there with all the players. There we go. Thank you, guys. What a team. 89 points for Nick Suzuki. Over or under?
Over.
I'm going to go over too.
Yep.
37 goals for Cole Caulfield. Over or under?
I'm going to say under. Because of the 2 units. I'm sorry.
Wow, that's good. Okay.
But he might score 35, which would be amazing.
I think he's going to hit 40. Lane Hudson, over or under 6 goals?
Solid over.
I think he hits double digits. Lane Hudson, under or over 66 points?
Solid over. Again, easy.
Juraj Slafkovsky, over or under 18 goals?
Over 18.
Over or under 51 points?
Over 51.
Brendan Gallagher, over or under 21 goals?
Under 20.
I'm going to agree with you on that one. Jake Evans, over or under 13 goals?
I would say under.
I'm going to go under too. Patrick Laine, over or under 20? I'm going over.
Over, easy.
Mike Matheson, over or under 31 points?
Over by a little much. Not much.
Josh Anderson, over or under 15 goals?
I'm going to say under.
Alex Newhook, over or under 15 goals?
Over.
How many points will Ivan Devinov get?
65.
65 points in his rookie season. That's a great rookie season.
Yeah. He's great.
You
know what? I wouldn't
does
to
it
be
win
more
in the
bullish.
rookie of the year? Does it win in the rookie of the year? 65 points?
Yeah, it does. It does. I looked at the competition. There's no celebrating this year.
No.
So that helps him, right?
Yeah, you're absolutely right that it helps. All right, okay. Samuel Montembeault.
Yeah.
He started 62 games last year. How many games do you see him starting?
A little bit less, honestly. He started 62 because Caden Primo had issues at the beginning of the season. So with Dovish backing him up, why not 55?
I'm going to go 57 for Montembeault. 55 would be great. That means that Dovish would be having a good season if he plays 27.
Right.
How many wins for Samuel Montembeault?
So 31 last year. Let's go 35.
That'd be awesome. Nick Cloutier, always an amazing guest. Thank you for doing this, my friend, and I'll talk to you soon.
Thank you, Tony.
Open up their season tomorrow night in Toronto. Thank you, Nick. If you like the podcast tonight, leave us a 5-star review. It's our way of feeling the love. And a reminder, watch me, regarde-moi demain matin en français, du lundi au vendredi matin à 10h le matin. And I'll be back always in English weeknights at 10 p.m. I'll be on tomorrow night after the Canadiens and the Toronto Maple Leafs game. And of course, Pierre Maguire is going to join me for sure. And maybe I might surprise you with another guest tomorrow night on the Sick Podcast. Thanks for watching. Have a great night. Talk to you tomorrow.
And that's a wrap. Hope you don't miss us too much until next time. Follow the Sick Podcast with Tony Marinaro on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, Google Play, and Apple Podcasts. The Sick Podcast is brought to you by Energy Transportation Group, driven to be different. La Vida TB, embrace your true nature. And Playground, your premier gaming destination.